Hey guys, I'm feeling a little bit delicate today, and I've discovered that hangovers and babies or children generally do not mix. So I was out last night for a friend's hen party, went to see the Dream Boys. That was an eye-opener. Yes, my eyes will never be the same, but really good fun. But yeah, a few drinks were consumed, and then didn't get back till really late. Missed my train, got back and then really late. And then was up really early with Sophia. So being hungover has made me think about the whole highs and lows of parenting, because definitely the fact that you just cannot have a lie-in, you cannot be hungover, definitely a low point of parenting. But I guess for me, the biggest low of parenting is sleep deprivation. I mean, there are so many positives of being a parent, and I love it in so many ways, but I'm not going to lie, I found the first few months extremely hard. I was already exhausted from the labour and 3 days of being induced, which was fun. And so by the time she was actually born, I had no energy left, and then you're thrown straight into being up every 2 hours, so I had no reserve. And Sophia was not a big sleeper at all. She wouldn't sleep during the day, she didn't really sleep at night, she just didn't really sleep much at all. And the sleep deprivation, definitely, I'd say most parents out there would say that's probably one of the biggest low points of being a parent. But I want to balance that with high as well, because even though you are exhausted and it's hard to get up and you can't have a lie-in, being a mum or being a parent generally is the most fulfilling thing I've ever done. To have a little person that, you know, to get you up in the mornings, to have a reason to get up, to have a reason to, you know, to be and to do things. I love that. You know, I think the most depressed I ever was actually when I was at uni, because I had 8 hours a week of lectures. That was it, 8 hours in a whole week. So I'd just be lounging around, and like most days didn't even have to get out of bed until after midday. And I was so down, because you're like, what am I doing? What's my purpose? What's the point of life? When you become a parent, you don't have time to think what's the point in life, because you're too busy. You're just always on the go. There's always something to do. There's, you know, whether it's getting them ready, whether it's feeding them, going to the park, playing with them, there's always something to do. And in a weird way, as much as it's exhausting, it's so fulfilling to kind of have such a reason to be, and a reason to like, you are that little person's everything, you and your partner, and it is a really lovely feeling. So it's kind of worth it. Yeah, it is worth the sleep deprivation, kind of. Another low point for me would be the change, I guess, in social life. Before having Sophia, I was a bit of a party girl. I was working in London, and, you know, everyone in the media, like, parties a lot. We'd go out a lot and go out after work for drinks and things, and I was just sort of my general life. I used to go out nearly every single weekend. You know, I enjoyed that. So having a baby, well, social life pretty much goes out the window, or the old social life, I'll go into that in a second, goes out the window, because you're just too exhausted to go out, and also you can't be hungover for reasons I've just spoken about, because you're up early and exhausted. So there are a lot of times I'm having to turn down, you know, invites, or turn down people are going out for drinks after work, and I'm like, oh, I've got to get home to put Sophia to bed and spend time with her. Yeah, of course, that's a little part of your life that changes, and you have to sacrifice. But on the upside, and I guess another positive of parenting, or another high, is the fact that your social life isn't what it used to be, and it may not be nights out all the time, but my social life is actually really busy in a totally different way now. It's just that now, instead of, you know, going down to like Strawberry Moons and having drinks, it's now going to messy play and going to, you know, baby sensory, and and having lunches with other mummy friends, where you actually don't really get to talk that much, because you're just spending the whole time trying to stop the wee ones from like throwing their food everywhere, or puking or pooing. So my social life, yeah, is totally different now. I still get the odd night out, obviously, because I was out last night, but not as easy. But yeah, at the same time, my social life is busy. I get to see friends a lot, and it's brilliant. It's just different. So it's not the end of social life, it's just different to social life. Speaking of social life though, I guess another low is the fact that things that you used to just take for granted as a couple, going out to the cinema, and going for a meal, nowhere, really not as easy now. If you want to go to the cinema, it's like a full-on military operation. You've got to organise babysitters, then make sure you've got them ready, and what time are they going to be back, and then if they're staying over, say at someone's house, you've obviously got to get everything organised for their next day, what they're going to wear, have they got bottles, have they got nappies. You can't just go, do you fancy the cinema tonight? So I think Sophia is now 2, and since she was born, we have been to the cinema once. So to anyone out there that hasn't had a baby yet, I would say go to the cinema lots, have lots of lies in, sleep a lot, because those things are definitely going to change. Another sort of, I guess, thing that can be quite a low point of parenting is that it does put a real pressure on relationships. Andrew and I hadn't been together that long. When we had Sophia, we'd only been, well, by the time she was born, we'd been together 2 years, but, that's still not a huge time, and 9 months of that I'd been pregnant. So we didn't have loads of time to go on loads of holidays together, do the whole dating thing, and we don't get to do that much now. Even we got married last summer, and our honeymoon literally was 2 days on the other side of, we got married in Santorini, so we had our honeymoon on the other side of an island, so that Sophia was still nearby, so we weren't too far away, and then Andrew was sick, that was great, but that's all we could do. There's no flying off to the Maldives for 2 weeks, or travelling around South Africa. That's kind of had to change all that, so it can affect a relationship negatively, and can be really hard, and sleep deprivation can really make you want to kill each other, and you tend to blame each other as well. It's like, well, you're really lucky because you get to go to work, well, you're really lucky because you get to stay at home, and no one ever wins in that argument, because to be honest, no one wins generally. Both are rubbish. It's hard, it's just hard generally to have a baby, and you've got to not blame each other. So it can be very difficult on a relationship, but on the flip side, on the high side of things, is that you've got such a bond now, and the closeness that you have because you have this little person together, and the sense of family that we have. I've never felt so secure as I do now in my little family unit. We are generally very happy when we're not wanting to kill each other because of lack of sleep. It's lovely when I look at Sophia and Andrew together, and I'm just like, oh, that's my little family. We share something that's so special to us, and that only we as parents have her. We've created her together, and that definitely does give us such a bond. And yeah, and I love being a family. I love our wee family days. Just sometimes not doing much, just going to the park, but those are really the best days. Despite the lows and the lack of sleep and the strain it can put on relationships and things like that, and the lack of holidays, I wouldn't change it. It is the best thing that I've ever done, the most fulfilling thing that I've ever done. And even when she doesn't sleep, when I then get her and she has to come in with me, recently she's been not wanting to sleep in her own bed, and has sometimes sneakily come into bed with us, which I know is not meant to happen, but when she falls asleep in your arms and you're looking at your little baby, just sleeping and breathing away, and they just look so angelic, it's the best feeling in the world. I'm sure you have lots of highs and lows, so as always, please share maybe some of the highs you've had and maybe some of your lows. Leave them below in the comment section, and I'm sure I'll be chatting more about highs and lows over the next few months.